to Foresights TV with me, Isma. A significant geopolitical development is unfolding on social media and across political discourse. The emergence of a renewed and assertive call for an independent Balochistan, spearheaded by prominent Baloch activist Mir Yar Baloch on May 9, 2025. Mir Yar Baloch declared the Democratic Republic of Balochistan's independence from Pakistan in a message that has since gained massive traction online. This declaration, though symbolic for now, is being supported by viral hashtags, widespread sharing of independent maps, and visuals of locals holding banners celebrating Balochistan's alliance with India. The declaration coincides with rising tensions between India and Pakistan following the Pahalgaon terror attack, which claimed 26 lives and prompted India's military retaliation through Operation Sindoor. The Baloch leadership has used this moment to highlight the long-standing oppression faced by their people under Pakistan's rule and has made over appeals for recognition and support from India and the United Nations. Here's a special report from Foresights TV. On May 9th, Mir Yar Baloch posted a statement on X, formerly Twitter, announcing the claim of independence by the Baloch people, referring to Pakistan as a collapsing terrorist state. In a pointed diplomatic outrage, Baloch urged India to allow the establishment of an official Balochistan embassy in Delhi and called to the United Nations to recognize the Democratic Republic of Balochistan. Mir Yar Baloch call included a demand for a UN General Assembly meeting on the recognition of Balochistan, a plea for financial support for setting up key state functions such as currency and passport printing. Direct appeals to Prime Minister Narendra Modi asserting the Balochistan stands with Bharat or India and condemns Pakistan's military exploitation of its people. The phrase Republic of Balochistan began trending on X shortly after the announcement. Activists and supporters shared an independent map of Balochistan free of Pakistani markings. Video of the Baloch flag being hoisted in tribal regions. Images of local rallies where banners read Bharat Baloch Bhai Bhai and messages of solidarity with Indian forces. This trend marked one of the most visible digital movements for Baloch independence in recent history. The online momentum appears to be part of a broader strategy to internationalize the Baloch struggle and tie it to regional fault lines, especially the India-Pakistan conflict over Pakistan-occupied Kashmir or POK. On May 14th, in another viral post, Baloch declared full support for India's demand that Pakistan vacate POK, referencing the historical 1971 war surrender of 93,000 Pakistani troops. The post suggested that Balochistan views India as a liberating force, while accusing the Pakistani army of using POK residents as human shield. The Baloch independent movement has a deep-rooted history stretching back to 1948, when the princely state of Kalat, now part of Balochistan, was forcibly integrated into Pakistan. Since then, multiple uprisings and crackdowns have marked the region's history, with allegations of human rights violations, enforced disappearances, and targeted killings by the military. Baloch nationalists argue that the region's natural resources, particularly gas, coal, and minerals, are exploited by Pakistan without fair distribution. The China-Pakistan Economic Corridor or CPEC has accelerated land grabs, especially around the Gwadar port, deepening Baloch alienation. There is little to no political autonomy to representation in the central Pakistani governance system. Pakistan, on the other hand, accuses India of backing insurgency movements in Balochistan, a claim India has consistently denied. Through the current situation has reignited those accusations. The Balochistan declaration comes at a time when Indian diplomatic and military pressure on Pakistan is at peak due to Operation Sindoor. While New Delhi has not yet officially responded to the call for recognizing Balochistan's independence, many Indian commentators and political figures have voiced support for the Baloch cause. Over the years, India's potential step could include allowing a Baloch political office in New Delhi, akin to what many countries do for non-recognized governments in exile, raising the issue in international forums, especially in the UN, and as human rights and self-determination concern, using the Baloch movement as a strategic leverage. In response to Pakistan's stance on Kashmir, India's past silence on the matter may now be challenged by the open declaration from Baloch leaders and visible public support it is receiving. The resurgence of the Baloch independence movement, symbolized by the declaration of the Democratic Republic of Balochistan, has brought an old fault line back to the spotlight amid a deeply volatile phase in South Asian geopolitics. As India and Pakistan confront each other over POK and cross-border terrorism, the Baloch have seized the moment to internationalize their grievances and demand recognition. The support shown for India by Baloch leaders and civilians marks a symbolic shift, portraying Pakistan not just as an adversary to India but as an oppressor of its own peripheries. Whether this declaration leads to formal recognition or remains a symbolic protest, it undeniably adds a new complexity to the region's strategic landscape. As the international community watches closely, the question now is whether nations like India and the institution like the United Nations will translate the digital momentum into formal diplomacy or let it fade out to the background of South Asia's many unresolved conflicts. That's all for today. Thanks for watching Foresights TV with me, Isma.